So, up next, let's talk about what I was binging. So, TV show wise, what have I been binging? I don't have a clever name for this. I mean, I guess it could be like Netflix and chill binge edition, but I don't know if that's good. I don't know. Sound off. Let me know. Is that what I should call it? Or should I call it something else? Let me know down in the comments below, or if you're listening live, let me know in the chat. So what have I been binging? Me and my wife actually binged the entire series, or season, I guess, of The Crew. It's a new series on Netflix starring Kevin James. I made an observation to my wife that it's like, I think Kevin James just really likes doing sitcoms. Because obviously he had King of Queens, which lasted, I think, a really long time. I want to say like 8 or 9 seasons, maybe. And then he had another one. I literally just cannot even think of the name. I remember the most memorable thing about it is that he had a different wife. And then the wife that was from King of Queens guest starred, and people liked their chemistry so much that they essentially killed off the wife and then did a time jump a whole year so that they could be dating and it be okay. Like, that's the most memorable thing I remember about it, just because I don't have like normal TV or whatever. So if it's not on Netflix or Hulu or whatever, like I don't catch it or whatever. So if it was on Hulu or something like that, I just never caught it or whatever. So, but that was one of the most memorable things I remember hearing about it, because it's just like such a weird instance. It's like Tim Allen has a show, Last Man Standing. There we go. I know I could do it. And they've had a really weird run. First off, pretty much everybody from Home Improvement has guest starred on Last Man Standing, including Tim Allen, which you were like, wait, he's the star of it. How can Tim Allen guest star on Tim Allen's show? So they had the character Tim from Home Improvement guest star on Last Man Standing, and they even made a joke how, like, yeah, everybody says we look alike, because the guy from Last Man Standing, he has like an internet show or whatever that he does a blog or a vlog or what the fuck ever, right? So so yeah, they had him go on, and then it's like they had a whole thing. Not only that, but then the daughters keep changing. I think 2 of the daughters changed actresses, and then one went off to like the Peace Corps, which is exactly what, funnily enough, happened to one of his sons from Home Improvement or whatever. And I'm pretty sure it was just because she just wanted out of her contract. So they're like, just write me out somehow or something. So it's like, okay, cool. So that was a really, really long way to talk about how Kevin James is weird for having his old wife on his show and then replacing the new wife. That was a really, really long and roundabout way to get to my point. If you're not used to that yet here at Threat X3 Productions, that's how we do. So, but the show overall is very good. I would like to see more shows, especially on Netflix. I would like to see more shows get away from the laugh track. I don't think it's as egregious as some people say, because some people just absolutely hate it, and like there's whole videos about how bad laugh tracks are and how they're fake and yada yada yada. And I can definitely agree, or at least see their point, but it's just like I don't mind them that much. Point being is that pretty much if it's a sitcom and it's on Netflix, they're all laugh track sitcoms. And I find that funny / weird, because it's like that's the one place trying to keep them alive. Because if you look at normal broadcasting like NBC, ABC, stuff like that, they're switching to a non-laugh track show. So another really good example is they went Big Bang, had a laugh track, and then Young Sheldon, which is a spin-off of Big Bang, doesn't have a laugh track. You have like The Office, you have Parks and Rec, you have another one, Modern Family, which I'm starting to watch that one. I'll talk about that one a little. They all don't have laugh tracks, and instead they're just, funny. So interesting. Point being, once again, God damn it, why do I keep doing this? Point being is that Kevin James' new show has a laugh track. And I don't mind it. I think the show overall is pretty good. So basically, Kevin James is the crew chief of a NASCAR team. And so basically hijinks ensue. Like there's a daughter who ends up being the new manager or whatever. So Kevin James and her are always butting heads or whatever. And so yeah, it's good. I like the characters. I think they're funny. But then they do that thing that like every freaking show needs to do, especially if it's a sitcom. God fucking forbid that a sitcom don't have this goddamn trope. But they do the trope where there's like two people and they're perfect for each other and they know everything about each other, but they just don't get together. And it's just like, that's another thing with the laugh track that I really want to step away from. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I don't like it. It's such a tired trope. That's one reason that I really liked How I Met Your Mother, because they had Lily and Marshall, and they had a little spat at the beginning, so they still kind of fell into it too. But they had a couple that actually stayed together throughout the entire series or whatever. And I thought that was innovative. But then they fall into it as well, because for the last like 2 seasons, it's all about Robin and Barney. The literal last season, spoilers, the literal last season of How I Met Your Mother is about Barney and Robin's wedding. It's like the 3-day weekend of their wedding, and just everything's going wrong, and they have so many times that they could break up, but they don't. And then the end of the fucking series, they just go through this time lapse of different scenes. They end up getting a divorce anyways. And then Ted gets to meet the mother. They kill her off just so he can go back to Robin. And it's just like this tired trope of having a character and they love each other, but they just can't seem to get together. And then they get together at the end. Like, that's so Friends that it's so annoying. But not only that, but then you see it a lot. You see it a lot in like dramas in particular, even if there's a little comedy to it, like a dramedy. You see flip-flopping so goddamn much. You have one couple, and they stay together for a little bit, and then something happens, and then they get together with like their friend, and then this character gets with this character, that character gets with that character. They're pretty much just playing shuffle every season and just seeing who lands with who, and it's such a weird experience because it's like the writers of the show don't know what to do, so they just keep putting this person with this person. Let's see how this relationship works out. Let's see how this relationship works out. And then when they end up just getting back with like the first person they were dating, it's just so freaking annoying. And I'm done with it. So, long way of saying, it's funny how in my review of The Crew with Kevin James, I've actually talked less about The Crew and way more about other shows. So I think that's kind of, if that tells you something about the show, I guess it's just that it's there, it exists, it's not super memorable, and it just does a lot of things that a lot of sitcoms do. So yeah. Let me take just a. Okay. So another thing I've been binging with my wife, actually, we're having a lot of fun with this, is Modern Family. I kind of teased that a little bit before. So Modern Family, definitely one of those shows that I heard a lot about, but never got into. And this particular one was on Hulu, but they only had like the last season or the last couple episodes or something like that. So I just never got a chance to watch all the way through it. So now Peacock, which is like the NBC version of like Disney Plus or, things like that. So they have it now, and so we started going through that. I want to say we're like 6, 7 episodes in, and it's just like, this is a really good show. It doesn't rely on the laugh track. It just relies on like funny situations. And this is another show that kind of proves that you don't need that stupid trope that I was just talking about how, oh, you know, this person loves this person, but then this person's over here. No, the entire show is about three married couples. You have, you know, regular mom and dad. You have an older guy, which is like their dad or whatever, and his like mail order bride, sort of. She's from Colombia, and you know they haven't really said how they met yet, other than he's supposedly really rich. And then you have a gay couple, and they just adopted a Vietnamese kid or whatever. And so here's a show. It doesn't have the tried and true tropes like a laugh track or, you know, swapping partners every other freaking episode or whatever. And it's hilarious. It's really well done, and it goes through like normal kind of everyday goings on, like kids being too loud while you're trying to do something that's serious, or like something that I'm gonna be very soon having to deal with, like a girl and having a boy over their house or whatever. And then of course, oh, I'm the cool dad, and I'm you know, so so far we're really enjoying it. So yeah, that's it, I guess. Yeah, that's it for what I've been binging, or Nick Flicks and Chill binge edition. Once again, let me know if that's a good title or not. But yeah, that's it.